Hey, welcome to a special presentation. We have a soil and water field night that's upcoming, and Duane and I have been looking at the program, and we find it really to be an excellent program that's coming up.
Yep, absolutely, Patrick. And what day is it going to be?
August the 16th, which is a Thursday, and from 5 to 9 o'clock. And with us today, we have Dr. Rafiq Islam. He has been the instigator of this program.
Yeah, for many years.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Dr. Islam has been working with the Ohio State University South Centers since 2002, 16 years.
It's a long time.
Yes, it's a long time.
So we want to welcome you, Doctor, to the program in which we're going to talk about the Soil and Water Field Night, as well as some of your other kind of research programs that you've been involved with.
So Dr. Islam, what's our agenda for the field night? What should a person expect? Who should come to this field night?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to say that anybody related to agriculture production, business, or clientele can come and join our field day, and we'll be showing our latest research on sustainable agriculture, soil health, and crop production, like how corn or soybean can be affected by different production system, and also how we can manage the weed control. There is a big problem in Ohio. Also, we'll be talking and demonstrating the soil health measurement, because soil health is the foundation of sustainable agriculture. And 3 of the experts will be coming from outside, from 2 of them from main campus, Professor Peter Tomison and Professor Mark Laux, and also Alan Sundermeyer from Wood County.
Okay.
And it's my understanding that each of them are very well known for their research and their development in their specific fields.
Right. Peter Tomison is a professor of crops and horticulture department. He's corn specialist, state specialist. Mark Laux is a wheat specialist, and he will be talking about mare's tail, ragweed, all resistant weeds, amaranthus, which is, becoming a problem in Ohio and other states. So he'll discuss all this, how to manage this kind of weed and all this in corn soybean production.
Okay. And so we start off at 5 o'clock, is that right?
Yes, we'll start at 5 o'clock.
Should we register for this event, and is there a charge?
It's good to be registered, so that way we can count how many people are going to come, and we can order food. So it's free. We'll be providing dinner.
Okay.
Free dinner, but you need to register so we can count and order the food.
Okay. All right, great. And we'll put up a registration link here.
Right.
So what's our next step, to Rafiq, for this field night? Anything else that we should we bring samples? We shouldn't bring a sample to just talk about. You're going to show us everything, aren't we?
We are going to show you, but if anybody wants to bring their soil, they can bring the soil, dry soil, air dry soil, and we can test them in the field.
In the field?
Or they can do by themselves.
Show them how to do a field test.
Right. So how to measure or determine soil health in the field by themselves.
Yeah.
And then evaluate what needs to be done.
Perfect.
Well, it seems to me that you were instrumental in developing a test kit.
Right.
And I'm quite sure that Sarah's going to put up the test kit, but this is a unique monitor. And just out of curiosity, what does the piece of equipment do? What does the monitor do?
This simple soil quality test kit with a color chart and simple measurement, it will tell you how good is your soil. And whatever you do as a management practices like plowing or no-till or cover crop, it will show the result that soil quality is improving or declining and what's next to be done. So this is farmer-oriented test, not a rocket science, very simple. So anybody can do it at home within 15 minutes. They'll be able to tell what is the quality of the soil or soil health, how much nitrogen in the soil, how much organic matter accumulation or depletion, and also microbial or biological activity, how good is their soil in terms of aggregate stability, that is a stable soil. So this kind of parameter they can measure by using a color chart and the simple test which we developed.
You know, it's interesting, Duane. Duane and I were talking about, I was thinking about putting in a small vegetable garden. And let's face it, I'm not really a good farmer, if you want to call it that.
He doesn't have a green thumb, I don't think.
All I know is you put the seeds in, and then two days later, there's all sorts of fruit.
Right.
But this test monitor would help me to sort of choose which particular vegetables or things that I wish to grow. Would it tell me that?
I don't know as it would tell you what vegetable.
It will not tell directly to vegetable or crops. It will tell you what needs to be, what is the condition of the soil. Is soil behaving good, or soil had some problem or diseases and all these? And it will tell you that something is there, so you need to improve, or you can follow as it is. So if it shows that the soil is good, so you can go for corn and soybean. And if you want to grow vegetable, then you can grow whatever you like. But it will tell you the existing condition of the soil, that what is the health of the soil, how soil is functioning.
So if and you keep referring to corn and beans, so we're talking about field crops.
Right.
Would this test kit work in a garden like Patrick's talking about? So if I'm just going to plant a general garden, it might be a little bit green beans and sweet corn and stuff like that. Could I still use this test kit, or is it really meant for fields, big fields?
No, it meant for all, because not only field, but also garden and organic production.
Okay.
Because garden soil has a lot of diseases and all this compaction problem because of the yard.
Yep.
So as a result, we need to improve the soil, like adding compost or something. And this test will tell you that your soil needs some help, like compost or some manure and all these. And then based on that, you can go for choosing a crops or all these.
Okay.
And organic production, it will tell how much organic matter is there to provide nutrients for growing crops.
Okay.
A small farm or large farm or garden.
Would it help me if I'm a blueberry farmer? So I know blueberries are very acidic.
Right.
So if we know our range, obviously it could tell us what range our current soil's at. Right. And that would give us the chance to adjust it, correct?
Right.
Oh, that's and how can I get this soil kit?
So you can two different sources. You can get the soil kit from us. We can sell, because OSU is the producer of this test, so we can sell, but we don't charge to make profit.
Right.
Just cost recovery. But we sold our test kit or the test to a small Ohio company called Demeter. It's in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah.
And they are commercially selling this test because they are the patent holder, the license to produce commercial production of this test kit.
Okay.
So, one of the things that sort of comes to mind is the fact that, when we have a soil and water field night, sometimes people think, well, it's only for the large farmers and it's only for a certain group. But it really sounds to me like this is really for anyone that wants to plant or have a better understanding of what's in that soil.
Right.
And how to the water.
How to manage the soil for a profitable and sustainable production.
So it would be for first-time farmers?
First-time farmers would be very good because they will learn how to use this concept and then plan for their farming. And organic production would be very good, and small farmers, horticulture, because horticulture crops are high nutrient demand, and so it will tell that you need to care about your soil or to have economic production.
And it's also my understanding that you have several countries that are going to be representing or having as representative companies that are also going to be available to demonstrate. Like, for instance, there's a couple countries from Israel and a couple from Japan.
Right. So, from Israel, there is an organization in Cleveland, Nageef Foundation. They called me and discussed about participation of few Israeli companies, especially irrigation, drip irrigation, how to use drip irrigation economically to produce better crops. And also they are talking about how biocontrol, using some fungus or microbes to control diseases in plants. So they want to come and demonstrate those at our field day. And the Japanese company Mitsui, they have funded one of our state-of-the-art research, and which is the future farming research we call 21st century agriculture. They will be coming and showing and talking about our existing experiment going on in the field.
You know, Duane, you know this much better than I, having been involved with cell centers. But we in America really have a lot of land, a lot of different crops that we're able to grow, but other countries don't. Like, for instance, Israel and Japan. They have to be very, very conservative on their soil and on their water. And it's really interesting with the companies that are coming in on the soil white. They really have some quality kinds of programs because of the compactness of the ground. You know, that soil irrigation.
Drip irrigation, Netafim, one of the largest company in the world, about drip irrigation. So they have state-of-the-art equipment and system to produce crops and support soil health and all this, and with minimum amount of nutrients and water.
And I think that's just fantastic. You know, the different things. What else are you hoping to do? You know, what do you want the individuals to leave with after they've gone to this soil and water night, field night?
I mean, the farmers will get recently developed or recent information or research information about how to manage corn production, like the corn, how to avoid disorder of seed formation and all these based on chemicals and varieties and timing of plantation. Peter Thomason will talk about that, and he's the state crop specialist. He'll talk about profitable corn production in Ohio. And Mark Lux will talk about the weed control, how to control weed, and some of the weeds are what you call obnoxious weed, how to control them. And Alan Sandermeyer will talk about how to measure soil health in the field, very simple and effective way. So all these messages and the information can be very helpful for the clientele or participant to join our workshop.
Now, is this just a sponsored event from Ohio State University South Centers, or are there other individuals involved with that?
Oh, this program, our field is sponsored by Ohio State and also Pike County Soil and Water District, and also Pike County Solid Waste Management. And they are the one who is going to provide dinner and door prizes and all these kind of goodies for the participant to the workshop or field day.
It's my understanding that the U.S. State AID program, the USDA, CRDF, I'm not sure what all those initials stand for.
Bunch of letters. Alphabet soup.
And it's interesting as we look through many of the different organizations like the Borlaug Foundation and many others. There's a lot of different programs that are collaborating with this.
I mean, yeah, our soil, water, and bioenergy program has number of grants and collaborative effort with U.S. State Department and also USAID, USDA, Foreign Agriculture Service, CRDF is Civilian Defense Research Foundation, and USDA Norman Borlaug Fellowship. Under that program, we have trained more than 25 students, fellows, and visitors on sustainable ag, soil health, and climate change, and they acquired all this knowledge and went back and trying to replicate those research to sustain their agriculture production and for food security of their country.
And I also know that Ohio State University Cell Centers is very much of a, they work together under your programs with other universities.
Right.
Like Florida State,
Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky State, Minnesota, University of California, Davis, University of Missouri, University of Nebraska, Lincoln. So number of universities, they are working with us in a joint collaboration to work in China, in Turkey, in Ukraine, in West Africa, and help them to conserve soil and water and in response to climate change, and again for food security. If we provide food security and healthy food, then we can avoid a lot of social problems in some of the countries, and US is taking the lead to feed the population in the world. And US has that capacity.
And don't we have to be able to eventually grow more, produce more food in a less area? Right,
because by 2050, the world population will be double, almost now more than 9 billion people. So we have to increase our food production almost 70 to 100% to feed the world. And everybody is looking at USA to take that lead.
And I think that's probably even more important with the soil health, because you know how much food is actually grown in the soil,
right?
And as long as we keep our soil healthy, and a way to keep it built up, obviously we're going to keep producing more and more food better.
Right. That's what our program's slogan is: healthy soil, healthy food, and healthy people.
Absolutely.
And I know that you also work in tandem with universities and organizations, and you have visits to other countries, joint researching different projects.
And mentoring students.
And you want to talk a little bit about your latest trip that you just came back from Ghana?
Yes, I just came back from Ghana day before yesterday after a 10-day trip, and we organized workshop on rethinking 21st century agriculture and climate change. Because in Africa, especially in West Africa and Central Africa and part of North Africa, is dry. So we are helping them how to conserve their soil and also the moisture, because it's a dry land, a lot of dust coming, and some of the dust coming to United States, to Florida, and killing our corals, affecting the soil in Florida. So Florida soil is getting red color.
Really?
With the dust coming from Africa, North Africa. So we are helping them to develop sustainable agriculture or climate smart agriculture based on novel and holistic approaches to conserve soil and also conserve moisture by using crop residues as a mulch, and also using aspirin.
The tablet aspirin?
the tablet aspirin is a smaller dose of aspirin, really help plant to be more drought tolerant and survive water stress and disease control. So,
Interesting.
And I know that Ghana is in the same area. Is Ghana on the coast, or is
Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
Ghana is in the coast, Atlantic coast. Half of the Ghana is tropical evergreen, lush green, but half of them are dry. Northern Ghana is very dry, which is close to Burkina Faso.
Yeah, that's right above.
Right above.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they have the similar problem. And we visited Burkina Faso and organized another workshop in February and March to train them what we learned from farmers in Ohio and using our research to help them with the principle of conservation and train their people so they can have their food security to avoid other conflicts and everything.
And I know that you've also been to the world's breadbasket, if you want to call it that, Ukraine.
Yes.
Duane, have you ever been to Ukraine?
I have not. I have
And
not.
I would love to go see that because I understand their fields, their harvest fields are just fantastic. That the quality of the food is unique. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct, but in some areas in Ukraine, because of conventional farming under communist regime or Soviet Union, depleted their soil, and it becoming hard and dry, and they need irrigation every 4 days.
Oh.
It's so bad, and Ukraine was one of the countries who has, top soils or high quality soil, but they are suffering from water problem and soil problem. So we got a grant funded by CRDF. It's called US Ukraine Collaborative Research, and we are doing this research to revitalize their agriculture, soil health, and make their plant more drought tolerant so they can produce more food and export.
Okay.
And,
interesting.
and I also know that you've had some involvement with Turkey.
Right. I was a Fulbright teaching scholar in Turkey to develop some of the coursework on soil and agriculture, so the Turkish university can update their syllabus for graduate studies. And so far we have sponsored, or we can say 7 Turkish scholars funded by Turkish government visited our program at South Centers and learn all these techniques and the principle to apply in Turkey on bioenergy, soil quality, water management.
Well, I know that Vinaya Shedeker, he's from India, has had a very successful soil water health series, and he's been very instrumental in being involved. And I guess he's moving to Columbus,
Right.
At the main campus, and then we have Yogi. Yogi Rout is also an associate research, and you have plans of bringing some other individual visiting scholars.
Right. We are expecting, to hire 2 more research assistants to work in our projects. Aquaponics project, how to grow fish and crops together, and also working in the lab. So we are expecting 2 more people, and one of the scholars will be coming from Ukraine, and that will be sponsored by, again, CRDF, US State Department, and then one of the Norman Borlaug Fellow will be coming from Malaysia.
Very good.
And the third one, the Fulbright scholar, is expected to come from India to work with us
Very
on
good.
soil health.
Very good. You know, Duane has a program called AgriTalk, and that comes out of the University of Rio Grande Community College, in which Mike Thompson and Duane talk about various different agricultural kinds of things. And just recently, they had an opportunity to interview through Zoom Tom let's see. You talked about the pawpaws.
Oh, yes, Tom Harker.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we did a live interview outside as they were planting pawpaw trees, actually, right here at Piketon. And we did a lot of, not demonstration per se, but Tom talked about different varieties we're doing and things like that. And he talked about the soil some.
Yeah, yeah. And so there's a lot of interrelated kinds of programs here at the Ohio State University South Centers that, sometimes people say, well, I went by the road and there were ponds, but they really didn't understand how in-depth many of our different research programs are involved with.
Right. Like one example I can give you, the one project we got with Central State University, 1890s University, on aquaponics, funded by USDA capacity building, to use marginal land like southern Ohio, use those land, how to grow fish and vegetable together in an aquaponic, well-managed system. So we can produce high-value vegetable crops or fruit crops and also fish. So it's a vertical production system. So that project is collaborated or integrated with soil and water, horticulture and crop science, Brad Burgerford, and also aquaculture, Matt Smith with Central State University and myself. So we are working as a team, 3 programs working as a team to support this project.
Yep, absolutely.
And so individuals can meet with all the key players and much more. August the 16th,
Right.
from 5 to 9 o'clock. And again, it doesn't cost you anything,
Doesn't cost you anything.
but
You do need to register.
you need to register. And, it's a program that I think that's geared for everyone.
Exactly. The new farmer or a current farmer or future farmer, they can learn some of the state-of-the-art technologies, and especially conservation agriculture or sustainable agriculture, which we call productive, environmentally viable, and socially acceptable. Agriculture must be productive, but at the same time maintain the environment. So that's our research, make complex things into simplified form for farmers to use, adapt, and follow.
Great. Well, Rafiq, I think we're just about out of time.
Okay.
Please join us for the field night, and please look for new field days or field evenings, I guess, or nights coming in the near future with other programs
right.
and things of that nature. So I guess, Patrick, until then.
I'm looking forward to the field night, August the 16th, the Thursday from 5 to 9.
Yep.
And I
Everything
plan
will
on
be in the field.
Everything. So
All
bring
the
bring
talks
your
and
boots.
demonstration, everything. Yeah, bring your boots.
Yes.
And bring your sample if you want to analyze.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Rafiq Islam, for joining us, along with Duane Rigsby. Behind the scenes, Sarah Swanson. I'm Patrick Dengel. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.